Hi, crafters. I'm back home from 2 days in the hospital. Feeling a little bit tired, but it was hard to not eat for 3 days. Oh, that was the hardest part to do. I had a colon exam, so that's why I couldn't eat for 3 days. And I needed to go to the hospital because I wasn't able to drink the stuff that clears out your colon, and I couldn't do it myself, so I needed help, and so they gave me the option to go to the hospital. So, hi to all of you. First of all, I like to thank all of you who follow me through Instagram because I posted it there that I was in hospital. Today I came back, and yeah, I wanted to thank you all for the wonderful comments and sweet words and prayers because it was not a happy thing to do. A colon exam is hard. Why does my chat? Can anybody please put something in the chat? Ah, see, Janice. I was afraid that my chat wasn't working. Hi, Janice. Well, I feel a little bit better, but it was the hardest part was not eating for 3 days. And I had something like, well, maybe then I will lose some weight. And when I came home, the deception was really big because I only lost 1 kilo. And that meant for me 3 days of not eating and then only losing 1 kilo. So I don't know. Hi, little bit. Hi, Anita. But I wanted to come on to tell you what I got in because I got these in right before I went to the hospital, and I didn't feel like, because I was way too stressed out, I didn't feel like doing a live stream and showing them, but the big dice came in. And of course, I needed to test them out because I promised you guys that I would test them out. And hi, Audrey. Hi, sweetie. Oh, you changed your name. I thought a little bit. It didn't sound familiar. Okay, and before you will be shocked, if I go and run, stop the live stream in a second, I need to go to the bathroom because I didn't eat for 3 days and my bowels are empty can be. But they fool me at this minute, so I hear a lot of noises coming from my belly. Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yes, I have my steel rule dies in. And as you know, I wanted to check out the factory if they produced quality items, what they would be like if I would get them in, if it was would just be a wooden block, or if there would be clear plastic over it, what kind of foam would be in there. Now you can see the design a little bit, and with this one as well. And one of them I have put them in, made them put in little details. But if you, that's a cat hair, sorry. But if you see how well they cut, and this is faux leather with some kind of fabric background, but if you see how well they cut, oh, like butter, even through that thick, chunky glitter faux leather, they cut really, really nice. Yes, they are in. Hi, Marcilla. Hi, Pamela. Hi, what's up? Hi, Laurie. So yeah, they came in. The only thing I asked the factor, the only problem I'm having of ordering these is these will be super duper expensive if I would sell them myself. And because of the weight, if I would have must chip them out myself, it is not fun anymore because of the weight. So I'm hoping to find a seller who is making dice like this and willing to buy my designs and stuff and so on and so on. But I'm not thinking about shipping these out myself just because of the weight, the size, the heaviness, the cost. Because for one of these, don't be shocked, but I paid $45 each. And that's a wholesale. No, that's not a wholesale price, but that's a price without any profit on them. And so if I would, for instance, only make $5 each, um, then I have to put in the cost of the envelope, the stickers, the uh, postage. It would be so costly. So I'm not thinking about um, selling these myself. It's not doable. The shipping will be horrible, and then you have to do shipping with track and trace, and that's about 22, 23 dollars and stuff like that. It will be way too expensive. So I need to figure out a way that I would be able to sell my bows in steel rule dies, but then so you can have them way cheaper. Of course, I would love to do it myself, but um, no, I can't get it over my heart, like we say in the Netherlands, to ask you guys such a big amount for only one die. So, well, Audrey, the problem is I asked Chaos Craft, and before I found this factory, and Casecraft told me, well, I never investigated in selling dice like this. So I don't know. That to me, that doesn't say if he is willing to do it. I need to talk to them about this. Um, Maybe they can do a special shop with only pre-order option. I have no idea. But for me, it's not able. Well, I will be able to sell them myself, but then I have to charge you so much money for a die. It will give so much trouble, postage, packaging, and so on. And I asked the factory if they would have pink foam, because I would love to have pink foam, but they only have black and orange. And if I do it myself, I want to have pink, just because I love pink. But that's me being silly. Hi, crafty lady. Sorry, I was roaming through all the comments. Sorry. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Well, but I wanted to show you something else. First, I'm going to show you what the steel rule does. So this one makes, do I say it correctly? Yes. This little cutie. So I die cut it from a double layered faux leather. First, I took two pieces of faux leather because the backside is like a pink, yeah, holographic kind of faux leather. I put some score tape in between the layers, then put it on my steel rule die cut them, and then make this bow out of it. And again, a cat hair. But yeah, then you will get this little cutie. And you know, I like tiny dice, tiny bows, tiny, tiny, tiny. I love everything tiny. Um, but the other one, the one with the orange, that looks like this. So it has the butterfly, the double butterfly wings, because I called it a butterfly bow. And yeah, the details, it cuts like butter. So the company makes good dies. So maybe Erica is willing to do it. I don't know. I have to talk to her about it. But I told her to wait until I have them in and I could check the quality for her, so she wouldn't invest a lot of money for uh, and having the risk of not having a good product. That's what I wanted to say. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I'm a little bit, well, I'm a little bit, God bless you. I'm a little bit refreshed, but um, uh, the bowel exam or the colon exam wasn't a fun place. I will tell a little bit later because I know some of you will be grossed out or don't want to hear about it. So I will do that in a few minutes. But I first wanted to show you something else. I made it 3 days ago. I was working on a new bow and I messed up. So, because I always show you when I mess up, but I made this bow. But as you see, this layer with the dots needed to be in between these layers. But what I did is I swapped the tail pieces in the design. So I needed to do it over and swap the tail pieces uh, through the with the loop pieces, and then I found finally had it correct. So now you can see the difference. It's exactly the same design, only this piece needed to have this tail, and it had has had this tail. Well, I'm not sure if I explain it correctly, but I hope you know what I mean. But at least I have them finished, and this one I personally really like. The size is not too big, not too small, and what I did is I made a pin out of it, and these pin pieces I bought on AliExpress. So you can buy them for there, but then you can also wear them like this, for instance, on your clothes or on your bags or whatever. Most of them have hair clips, and I wanted to do something different. Hi, Evie. Thank you. Well, hi, Craft Addict. Thank you for being here. God zegen je, Ben. Leuk, ze vertaalt het in het Nederlands. God bless you. Je was toch aan het niezen? Ja. Nou, zegt ze het in het Nederlands. Thank you, Fatima. I told Ben that you translated it in Dutch. Okay. And then I made the same bow. So, the same one. And now I have to show you the correct one. This bow, but then it's my first attempt, so be kind. But I made my first Halloween bow. This is my first ever attempt, so please excuse me. Sorry that I'm not really good at it, but I loved this middle piece. I ordered it on AliExpress. I thought these were funny. I used this faux leather that I bought and that I showed in another live stream. So this one with the skeleton heads, and I loved it. I thought it was lovely. I thank you. I'm really loving all these bows. They are so nice. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you so much. I'm working on a few more bows, a few lovely ones. And talking about bows, I was home um, a few hours ago. I came home from the hospital, spending 2 days there, and a package came from Scrap Diva 29. As you know, I designed dies for her, and I asked her if she could send me one of the bows I designed for her. It's a rainbow bow. I know a lot of you love rainbows, and I'm feeling very, very, very proud at this bow because I was figuring out if it would be possible to um, design a rainbow bow. And it took me days to figure it out. And afterwards, I thought, why didn't I think of that sooner? I will first show you the die, and then I will show you a post of a lady on Instagram who made it into a paper product. So the set looks like this. Oh, wait a minute. I will take it out of the packaging so it doesn't glare. So if you want a set like this, you can find it on scrapdivadesigns.com because I designed it for her. Sorry, Erica, I have to rip your packaging because the tape is sticking to it, but it looks like this. But what did I do? Normally, you would only get this part to make the rainbow bow. Yeah, I know. But I wanted you guys to have a base where you can put all the colors on top of. It makes the die set a little bit more expensive, but I think you don't, that way you don't have to cut a base layer where you stick all your layers on top of. If you want to see how good this looks, there is a lady, I believe she is called, let me double check. Her name is Hello, it's me, Roxy, on Instagram, and she made these. I hope the camera picks that up because yeah, there is a little bit of like, but sh- Scrap Diva Designs posted it on her Instagram, and if you look it up, she used such a nice colors, and it really looks like a rainbow bow. Well, at least I think so. Thank you, Eve. That's my Marion. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, thank you for joining. Oh, you want to see Kitty? Well, let me show. She's here. See? She's always laying on my desk or behind me in a big uh, cat house that's right behind this door. You can't see it, but most of the time, or she's here or she's there. But she is here. But yeah, so this is the set. With these, you can die cut all your colors paper of paper, and when you have your colors, you can build it up on top of this one. So one, it makes your bow really sturdy, and two, you have something to build your colors up so you don't have to cut a base layer yourself. And what I did in these base layers, I made some indentations with embossing lines so you know where to position your colors. So I didn't let them be clear or plain, or I don't know how you say that correctly, but I made embossing line especially so you could build them up in an easy way. Thank you, Fatima. Hi, Laura. Hi, lieverd. And then Erica also sent me the other set with the stamp set that I designed, and it's this apron set. You can layer these two together. If you layer them, you have a female apron. If you only use this one, you have a male apron. And I put in a stamp set, or with this apron, you get a stamp set, and the first says today's menu, take it or leave it. I thought that was funny. Live, love, bake. Baking sweet memories, sprinkled with love. Baking is love made edible. Then queen of the kitchen, stuffed with sugar, wrapped with love. Love at first bite. I thought that was a cute one too. And then baked with love and care. So you can stamp on the sentiment on the apron, but of course you can use a little tag and stamp it on there. The apron is just a little bit extra. Stitching are not in my head and very good idea. Thank you, Eve. Thank you so much. And then I have to admit something. I always be honest, even about my own designs. I hate designing roll up flowers. I hate them. They are so difficult to design wise. It took me hours and hours and hours to design these. The reason I personally do not like rolled flowers that you can roll up so much is because, and that's what I think, is because when you roll them up, some leaves always tend to be exactly behind the other one and not in an overlap situation, if you know what I mean. And to be honest, I would never buy them, but that's my opinion. Before I made mine, or that was my opinion before I made mine. And not that mine are so brilliant, that's not what I wanted to say. But then I saw Erica and her design team making the roll of flowers out of paper, and I was like, well, I think I need to change my mind a little bit about rolled up flowers. They will never be my favorite. I like flowers just in a die that I can stack and that I can alter the way I want them. But if you are into rolled up flowers, I made three different ones. But what I did is, and I asked Erica her permission because this way the sets would be bigger, is to make three of the same one in one die. This one, this way, sorry, you only have to pass it through your machine once, and you will end up with three flowers in one go. And I personally like that fact a lot. And so I made one with hearts that are open, one with closed hearts, and one with my favorite border. They took me so long to design because of the swirl. They have to have a certain distance from each other. It's all technical, I know, but they are dreadful to design. But when I saw what they made with it, I had something like, I have to uh, adjust my opinion about them a little bit more. Hi, Teresona. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Lala. Thank you for being here. So, if you buy them, you will get all three different ones, and you will get them in sets of three. So, you only have to pass them through your machine once. Dankjewel, Laura. Jij snapt wat ik bedoel. Laura was laughing at me because sometimes it's so hard to explain something in English. And now I also got this set in, but this doesn't say very much, so I forgot to take it because I put one together so you can see what it makes. I made one and Erica loved it so much that she bought the design from me. There are more parts to it, but that's in between these two layers of cardboard. So this is the front, the back, and in between are more dies. I'm not going to open the packaging now because I'm going to show you what it will make. And it will make this what it looks like a drawer, but it's a card that you can pull out. Most of you already saw it. You can pull out, twist it like this, and then put it on your table like this, like a kind of a window box. And if you push this one down, there is a hidden compartment where you can put in a chapstick or something like a tiny lollipop or little chocolates or whatever you want to put in. Nice beads. Uh, let your mind go wild. But that's what this set will make. It's a big die set. 3D designs are always big die sets, so yeah, the price is accordingly to 3D items. Thank you, Gail, and I hope you will enjoy it. And yeah, you can put it like this on your desk, and it's like a card box, so you can put it like this on your desk, and people can look in. It's like a window box. Do I say that correctly? That's a window box, right? My brain is not functioning fully after the hospital visit. Well, for the people who are grossed out easily, please do something else. For the people who want to know, I needed to have a colon exam. The reason why was that sometimes, and it can happen in a blink of an eye, not doing anything special, my belly swells up and I look like 7 months pregnant. And it hurts so much when that happens. It feels like your belly wants to rip open from the inside out. That's how it feels. Like somebody is trying to go outside through your belly button. And I was so done with the pain that I asked my doctor if he could give me a prescription for the hospital. So I went to the, I needed to wait for 3 months before they finally took me in. Well, I have to tell it differently because it is officially in the Netherlands differently. Normally, for a colon exam, you don't have to go to the hospital. But I have had a colon exam about 25 years ago, and it caused trauma, a trauma in my head. I have flashbacks of it. I had to drink two kinds of fluids, was hours and hours on the bath, on the loo. Let me call it a loo because we call it a WC or a toilet. Some call it a loo, some call it the bathroom. So I will call it the loo. Then you know what I mean. Um, but that was such a difficult experience, horrible experience for me that I talked to the sister, the nurse. We call it a sister, but you call it a nurse. And begged her if I could do the clear out of my colon in the hospital. Because normally you will get four bags of a kind of a powder. You have to dilute that in 2 liters of water. You have that. You have to drink that during time spent of 4 days. Then your colon will be empty, and then you can have the exam. But I was like, oh, I don't feel like drinking all that kind of stuff. Um, the swallowing part of the stuff was for me the most horrific idea. So she said yes, I could come in yesterday. I came in. They put like a tube through my nose, through my throat, into my stomach. I have to think about the names in English. Oh, no. What's up, Star? So you know what I mean. Uh, Hi, Tracy. Hi, sweetie. Hey, mustn't you go to bed? Oh, to work. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, time difference. Sorry, sweetie. Be safe. Be safe, Tracy. So, to keep a long story short, they put the tube in, and the nurse was telling me, "Oh, you are a role model for a patient because most of people are gagging and stuff like that." So, I had something like, "Hmm, let me go on a walk," because I had the stick so I could walk around the hospital. And then one of the ladies in my room, one of the other patients in my room, was telling me, Nicole, make sure within the hour you need to go to the bathroom a lot. Okay. And so I took that advice to heart, and I felt a little bit sick and a little bit nauseous. And yes, within the hour, I was back and forward going to the bathroom. I will save you a lot of details. But I needed to have four of those big cans of um, stuff to clear out my entire colon. But after two and a two and from the third one, almost three-fourths, I was in the hospital. They have paper. It's like sandpaper. I had a lot of belly problems, and I've been to the hospital for my behind a lot. And so my skin there is super thin. And I was wiping myself and I was bleeding like crazy. And I was crying from pain. And so I yanked on the emergency line that is in the toilet. So they opened the door and the nurse came in and I was bawling from pain and I just couldn't. And she told me, wait a minute, I'm going to get you some numbing cream. She put that cream on it, and I was like, no. Oh, it was biting. Oh, it feels it feels like you get about 80,000 razor blades in your behind. That's how it feels. So I had something like that. Did she took the wrong cream? Is this normal? And the sister told me, wait 5 minutes and your pain will be gone. And I had something like, okay, hope so. Because my pain from 0 to 10, it was 9.5. That's how painful it was. But indeed, after 6, 7 minutes, the pain went a little bit away. But I couldn't sit down. I only could lay down on my side. And then they um, decided to detach my line so the fluid wouldn't go through my belly. And I was thinking, oh, then they are going to take the tube out of my nose because it was itching in my throat and it was making me sneeze and my nose was dripping because of it. And constantly I was wiping my nose because it was dripping. And not because the fluid came out of my nose, but the line was irritating my nose, making my nose drip. So that kind of stuff. Oh, and I was a little bit complaining because I felt so sorry for myself. And I had something like, Nicole, you mustn't complain if you see what others have. You only need to have a colon exam. Come on. But the hardest part that I found the hardest part was not eating for 3 days. 3 days not eating. Nothing. Nothing at all. Not even well, I the first day I had two sandwiches and I have to be honest, a fried egg, but that was all that was allowed. And then the days came that I wasn't allowed to eat because everything needed to go out of my colon. So, and then I thought, okay, now they are going to take the tube out of my nose, and I'm finally able to sleep tonight. And the nurse came in, and I asked her, "Can you please take out my tube because it's irritating?" And you know how you feel then. Well, I at least do. And she was, no, I'm sorry, but tomorrow morning you need to have the other quarter and another full bottle before you can go for your exam. And I had something like, no, so now I have to sleep with that nose tube in my nose. And normally, if you do this, I sleep. I have no sleeping problems at all whatsoever. But that nose tube was irritating so much, and I couldn't fall asleep. Everything dark, quiet in the hospital. So I called the nurse and whispered to her, I can't sleep with that freaking thing in my nose. And she was like, uh, I'm not going to take it out. You have to deal with it. And I had something like, I know you're right, but I want it out. I felt like a little kid. Oh, yeah, Janice, it was horrible. Hi, Polly. Where is singing Ben and Kitty? Kitty is right next to me asleep, and singing Ben is at his computer, sweetie. I thought I had a bad day. You poor thing. Oh, Gail. But we all feel our own pain the hardest. That's how we are. And because that's what the ladies in the rooms said to me too. Because I had something like, Nicole, you mustn't complain if you see you are 47, not taking any medication, and these poor people that lying around you are taking a dozen pills a day and have way more pain and need to have antibiotics and blood transfusions, and you are complaining about a nose tube. That's how I felt. But it is what it is I complained like a little kid for a second because I just felt sorry for myself. But then I got a tablet so I could sleep. And I slept for 3.5 hours, I think. And then 5:30 I woke up and I had something like, okay, I'm going to sneak downstairs so I could have a cigarette because I smoke. Yes, I know it's stupid, but I smoke. And so I thought, okay, let me first go to the bathroom to be sure that I don't have any accidents while walking out of the hospital to be able to smoke because we can't smoke inside of the hospital, but we are allowed to do it outside. And so I went to the bathroom and I was done, opened the door, and I looked right into the face of the nurse with the tube in her hand telling me that I need to go back onto the fluids at 5:30 in the morning. And I had something like, give me a goddamn break. I'm so tired of that rubbish fluid going through my belly and it's horrible. And so she looked me in the eye, and I had a look on my face like, if you're not allowing me to have a smoke outside, I'm going to run out of this hospital. So she wasn't agreeing with me, but she had something like, okay, only if you're being quick. And I had something like, if I would have slept for an hour longer, you wouldn't have bugged me. But I thought to be early. Oh, I had a look on my face like, go out of my room. Oh, yeah, that was a funny moment. So I came back from my smoking from my smoke, and I ran upstairs and I was behind the door. I needed to go through that door to be able to go to my room. But at certain times that door is locked. And I felt my belly rumbling, and I had something like, please open the door before I'm too late. Please open the door before I'm too late. And I felt really like, oh, I have to, no, do not sneeze, do not cough, do not do anything wrong, Nicole, because else you will have a big accident. Oh, and I finally another nurse came to open the door. I had to run to the bathroom. Oh, okay. Then I made horrible sounds because my colon was empty. I opened the door, and then she was with the tube in her hand, like, now you're mine. And I had something like, oh shit, I don't have an excuse now. I have to go back to having the tube connected and the junk go inside my stomach. But inside, I wanted to run. I didn't feel like doing it much longer. But yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted to say, Eve. I'm trying to keep it nice and decent and not talk about too much about the junk. You know what I mean, the poo. So I will read your comments in a second, sweeties, but I have to keep my story straight. So um, the first three times I needed to go to the bathroom in the morning, I had something like, okay, now I understand why I need to have that other bottle because there was still some junk coming out of my colon. And then it got clearer and clearer and clearer. And I saw the bottle of fluid, and I had something like, if I need to wait until this is inside my belly, that will take another 2 hours. So I did something very, very sneaky. I felt like robbing a bank, but what I did was I stopped the machine, took off the cap, threw a little bit of the fluid away into the toilet, put the cap on, hung it back onto my walking stick, and then I had something like, okay, this will only take 30 more minutes before this one will be empty. I'm clear, I'm good to go. So I think they will not notice. Oh, and I felt like, oh, like you can be caught doing something naughty, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I know, Laura. So then there were only nurses there, and the ladies in the room, we had so much fun. And we were, the day before, we were complaining that there were no male nurses, that we needed something to look at, if you know what I mean. I know I'm married, but I'm not blind. So that's what all the ladies uh, were saying amongst each other. And then I came out of the bathroom and I knew I had to let them check what was the end result of the four bottles. So they needed to look what was in the toilet to make sure that my colon was clear. I opened the bathroom door. I opened the door, and you guess what? There was a very nice, uh, young, he was too young for me, but nice looking young man nurse. How do you call a male nurse? I don't know in English. I don't know. Well, he wasn't bad looking, and I had to ask him to look inside the toilet what I left behind. So I had something like, "Oh no, finally we have a male nurse," and now I have to ask him to check if I don't need another bottle of the junk. So he went in like there was nothing going on, like it was nothing special, and I feel like red like a tomato. And he looked inside the toilet and he told me, "Well, you don't need another bottle." And I had like something like, yes. So I was like partying inside the room again with all the ladies, and they were all happy for me that didn't need bottle number five. Oh, and I was on my bed and he disconnected my tube. It was so funny. He turned around, and so he was facing with his back towards me. And I called him and asked him, would it then also be possible to take that tube out of my nose? And he turned around with a face like, "I'm not going to pull that tube out of your nose." And then he smiled and he told me, "Well, because you being a good girl," and I had something like, "You must know what I know, but okay, I'm not going to tell on myself. Um, I will do you a favor and take the tube out." So I was like, yes, finally getting rid of the tube. So he asked me to breathe in and breathe out so he could take the tube out. He did. And then he told me, "Well, since you are now clean, I will call downstairs and see if you can go now instead of," because then it was about 10 o'clock and officially I needed to wait until 4 o'clock. And so he told me, "I'm going to call, but I don't know if they have time for you." And so I told him, since I'm now free of my nose tube, I don't have to run to the toilet anymore. I'm clean. I'm going to go outside to smoke a cigarette. But I was smart enough to leave my cell phone number on my nightstand. So if he needed me, he could call me. So I ran downstairs, smoked a cigarette. I wanted to go back to my room. And then he called me and told me, "Well, you have to go to that part of the hospital because they are ready for you." So I was so happy that it was so quick after that they declared me clean. And then I came there and they told me that I would go under anesthetic. Well, I don't know what they put in my arm, but I felt everything. It, it wasn't as painful as the razor blades experience I had earlier the day before, but it wasn't nice. It wasn't a very good one. I had an emergency on my small intestine several years ago, and it was a long time recovering process. Yeah, Eye candy, yeah, true. Sorry. I'm trying to read back what you guys were saying. I had a tube down my throat for 24 hours to check for acid flux. Prior to that, I had both of column. Oh, see, and then I'm only complaining about because I needed to have this exam. That's what I meant. So I felt guilty about complaining. So yeah, if I see what other people have, I meant. Oh, lol, it's all good. Oh, you are talking to each other. Sorry. Yeah. Well, it was a fun and horrible experience at once, but the outcome was that's what literally the doctor told me. You can't have better colons than you have. They look brilliant on the inside. So I had something like, okay, I had to go through this 4 days through this ordeal because I started not eating on Monday. For 4 days, I needed to prepare myself for an exam that only took 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then discovering that I have the. Whoa, Lotje fell from the desk. What are you doing, Lotje? Sorry, I had to catch my child. um, so I didn't eat for 3 days, and the exam only took 6, 7 minutes. And on one side, I'm super happy that they told me that my colon is the best colon you can ever wish for. But then I have something like, why on earth do I then sometimes have the feeling of of having a belly that looks like somebody is 7 months pregnant? And okay, the swelling goes down again, but why? I don't understand. So I hope the 30th I will have an other appointment with an other kind of specialist, a surgeon, or I don't know how you call the profession. Sorry, um, but I hope they maybe will be able to tell me why. So yeah, it's good news, but with a little bad side of not knowing, still not knowing why that happened. So yeah, with a perfect calling. Thank you, Eve. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm super happy and I feel super blessed because there was such a sweet lady across me in another bed, and oh, the poor thing. Um, oh, I felt so sorry for her. She had the same abscesses as I had. I told in another live stream about that, but her abscesses didn't come out of her body like what happened to me, but uh, are in between her colons. And she had so many, she needed to go to uh, she needed to have a big surgery because there were so many in her belly, and I felt so sorry. And she was so sweet. And yeah, I'm still thinking about that lady. So yeah, it was an experience, but I will tell you, I will never, ever, ever do this again in my life. I not eating for 3 days. It was not even the hardest part, but it was hard. Yeah. Hi, Meg. Laura. Well, that's a more that term is more like like a collective name. It's not a fully acknowledged disease. But the good news is I don't have the Crohn disease. So that made me very happy because I saw people there with Crohn disease And I had something like, okay, but that's nothing, not like what I have. So, yeah. So we will see. I have to wait, but I'm back home. I'm happy to back home. It's very hot in the Netherlands. Even in the evening, I have doors and windows open, and even despite of some kind of cooler wind coming in, I still have a sweaty nose. But I'm so happy to sleep tonight in my own bed and to be with my kitty cat and my husband. So I can't be more happy than uh, God knows what. But that was the whole story. I hope the doctor don't see this video and discover what I did with the fluid. I, f- I felt like I can't remember pushing the button and think, Nicole, you naughty girl, age 47, doing something that's not supposed to be like that. Oh, but looking back at it, I can see the humor in it. I was clean, so why putting myself 2 hours longer through that hell of going running through the toilet back and forth, right? So uh, I think it's not something that they can't forgive me. He saw what I produced, so he declared me clear. So I think it's all good. Face the fan to the window. Just check. Oh yeah, I saw that video too. Yeah, yeah, I saw that video too. That if you face a fan to the window, it's producing more cold air. Do I say that correctly? Yeah, I saw that video too. It's a hot item on YouTube. I saw something from it. Yeah. Okay, sweet people, I'm going to go. I'm not going to know for sure what if Erica is going to sell the steel rule dice or not, if she is willing to investigate it in it. But for me, I don't like to ask you guys so much money for these dice. Of course, the more of the products you buy, the cheaper they will be, but they still will be way more expensive than a normal cutting die, even if you look at the prices a shop owner needs to pay. So don't think you will have something like this under $20 as cost price. So yeah, I will give Erica, if she wants, of course, all the information. And maybe I also will talk to Adam from Case Craft if he wants to investigate it. And then maybe they are going to produce them. I have absolutely no idea. I've been to Edinburgh and I love it there. Yeah, I wish you all a nice evening. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for all your sweet wishes, well wishes, and prayers. And yeah, I will be back soon because if everything goes well, Monday I will have all new dice in from Case Craft and my exclusive dice. And if I checked my store correctly, I only have 4 left. So if you still want one of those, check out my Etsy store. If you want to know what it is and see a picture, you have to look to my one of my other live streams because in there I show you what the set will hold. I wish you all a nice evening. Thank you for joining and a big kiss from me. Bye bye.